Welcome to Biddeford High School and Tiger Gymnasium. I'm Jeremy Sirios, the principal here at high school. And I'm pleased to welcome everybody from our elementary schools, from the public, from our high school, and our esteemed guests. Wreaths Across America is a national nonprofit organization founded in 2007 to continue and expand the annual wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, which began with Maine businessman Morrow Worcester. Wreaths Across America's mission is to remember, honor, and teach, and is carried out in part by coordinating wreath-laying ceremonies at Arlington, as well as veterans cemeteries and other locations in all 50 states and beyond. What's important for all of you to understand as students of the Biddeford School Department is part of this is the healing process for our guests. They have lost loved ones, and this was a program that was founded in Maine. It started in Maine and goes all across America. So it's quite a thing that has started here in Maine and touches the lives of many people. I'd like to recognize a few of our honored guests. The chairman of Wreaths Across America, Wayne Hansen. The founder, Morrow Worcester, and the executive director, Karen Worcester. The Grand Marshal, Edith Knowles. And if Edith could actually stay standing, I'm going to embarrass her a little bit. I was told that Edith jumped out of a plane last week. She is a Gold Star sister, and her brother was killed in the Battle of the Bulge, and he was a recipient of the Medal of Honor. In the convoy, there were approximately 150 people: veterans, Gold Star families, Blue Star families, professional drivers delivering the wreaths and donating their time, Payeur guard riders, local law enforcement, and first responders from around the state. If we could have all the people in the convoy please stand for recognition. The goal of this program is to have 230,000 wreaths at Arlington and over 700,000 nationwide, with over 1,000 participating locations. At this time, we're going to begin our program, and I will ask that everybody be as good an audience as you possibly can be and show everybody here what Biddeford has to offer. So at this time, I'd like to present the Civil Air Patrol cadets and their color guard. This time, could I have the Biddeford Primary School and Dayton School third graders please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could please stay standing or re-stand, that would be great. At this time, The Bedford High School Band will be performing the national anthem. Okay, at this time we're going to have a series of honored guests to speak to you. The first will be Maine's First Lady, LePage.
Good morning, everyone. It is a true pleasure to be here. I'm not going to take much time because it's not about me, it's about Wreaths Across America and their mission. And I met Morrill and Karen about 3 years ago. We were up in Washington County and doing governor stuff. And they asked us to do the ribbon cutting at their museum. And Mr. Worcester was giving us a tour around the museum. And it touched me so much because in that tour, this man broke down in tears 3 times, telling 3 different stories about people that he had met. And they asked me to join Wreaths Across America, the convoy. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. When Paul was elected governor of the state of Maine, I became the first lady, so to speak, and there is no playbook for this. I didn't get a rule book saying I do this, that, and the other thing. And politics was so brutal that year that I really wanted to choose something that was not political. And that's why I ended up picking military families and military servicemen and women, because there's absolutely nothing political about that. And just to show you how naive I was at this stuff, the first year was when President Barack Obama was elected, and First Lady Michelle Obama came out and she wanted to do military service members and their families. So I thought because she did it, I couldn't do it. So I had to ask if it would be okay. So that's how I ended up with this. But now I meet Karen and Morrill Worcester. I'd never heard about Wreaths Across America, and I decided I wanted to go on the convoy. So the first 2 years, I did it in a tractor-trailer truck, and I really, their mission statement, I talk about it all the time because it really falls into what I do, and that's to remember the fallen, honor those that serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. So it's a complete honor for me to do this. I did it last year with my biker buddy Rich from New Hampshire. We went down on the back of a motorcycle because I wanted to try to bring as much awareness to their mission as possible. So we're doing it again this year. But I just want to leave the students with this. You know, it's been said, and it's a quote that I use all the time, that when you decide to serve, you are writing a blank check payable for an amount up to and including your life. And we are going down to Arlington to honor those brave men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and their check was cashed way too early. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Okay, at this time, we're going to watch a brief video on the how, the why, and the meaning of Wreaths Across America.
Ask yourself, where would I be, what would my life be like, were it not for our veterans who have stepped up for us all, time and time again, over the course of this nation's history. Hello, I'm Mayor Casavant. I'm the founder of Wreaths Across America. For more than 20 years, I've been asked countless times, what is a veteran's wreath? Why do I place wreaths on veterans' graves? A veteran wreath is made up of 10 balsam bouquets. Each bouquet helps describe the veteran. The first bouquet stands for the veteran's faith in God. The second bouquet stands for the veteran's love for one another. The third bouquet stands for the veteran's strength, work ethic, and character. The fourth bouquet stands for the veteran's honesty and integrity. The fifth bouquet stands for the veteran's humility, selflessness, and modesty. The sixth bouquet stands for the veteran's ambitions and aspirations. The seventh bouquet stands for the veterans' optimism for their fellow Americans and for our country. The eighth bouquet stands for the veterans' concern for the future and future generations. The ninth bouquet stands for the veterans' pride in carrying out their duties. The tenth and final bouquet stands for the veterans' hopes and dreams that didn't always come true, but left them with no regrets. Now this wreath made of 10 bouquets becomes a symbol of honor, respect, and victory. It's made from evergreen, which symbolizes longevity and endurance. Its circular shape symbolizes eternity, as it has no beginning and no end. Its clean forest scent symbolizes purity and simplicity. Its red gold symbolizes great sacrifice. This year, when you place a wreath on a veteran's grave, you know it's not just a wreath. It's your personal gift to an American hero. And you will swell with pride, and there'll be a tear in your eye, knowing that you've done something very, very special. God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to invite Karen and Maura Worcester up to the podium, along with the chairman of Wreaths Across America, Wayne Hansen.
I guess for making me do the talk. First of all, I want to say thank you very much. When we came around the corner today and just saw everybody out there waving the flags and shouting and welcoming us, it was very touching. This is my first, I've been involved with Wreaths Across America for over 20 years, but it's been down in the Washington area as working at Arlington National Cemetery as the coordinator down there for Wreaths Across America. So I haven't had the opportunity to enjoy the trip down on the convoy. This year is the 150th anniversary of Arlington as a cemetery, and we set a very high goal of trying to cover all the markers that we can down there at Arlington. But the people up here, Karen said, you know, you've got to make this trip. It's something special. I've heard all the stories and all the wonderful things that happen along the way, but those were just stories to me. I didn't have that opportunity, and I can tell you that what they've said in past years, this will be the 23rd year, it's humbling to me. I think I just said today that I've never been so happy and cried so much. It's very emotional, and I hope eventually that every one of you will have an opportunity maybe to come down with the truckers and the convoy to come down and experience this. It is really something to see the people supporting Wreaths Across America. Right now, as a matter of fact, I should be down at the Capitol right now at noontime across the country. There are going to be wreaths placed today at our state houses all across the country, all 50 states. There are ceremonies going on where ceremonial wreaths will be placed this Monday at noontime all across the country. So, unfortunately, my wife is down there now. I wish she was here to experience this with me, and Karen says we'll be able to experience it, get her on this trip too. But she's down there taking care of that for me. I want to thank you again for having us here. It's just amazing. I think this is our first trip here to the school, and I hope it continues because the support that I saw coming in was just fantastic. It's amazing. I thank you here. You've seen what a wreath means. It's not just greenery out there with a red ribbon. You saw what goes into it. I hope you take that back with you. We always say that when you place those wreaths, and I hope you do here locally on Saturday, that there's a story behind that stone that you're placing it on. Somebody has served and sacrificed, whether they were killed in action or just died after being in service. There's a story there. There's a family that was grieving at one time, and they're missing that individual. So take the time to remember that person, honor that person. And you kids today, with all the technology, certainly have that ability to, I consider myself a dinosaur with the computers, but my grandson tells me what I'm supposed to be doing. Go online, look at some of these, some of your veterans' cemeteries, grab a name, look at it, do some research with it. Learn about that individual. You can do that now. So you become involved with this, because as one of the missions is to teach the children the cost of freedom. Freedom is not free. Our military that's out there serving us right now so we can be here today, they're all volunteers now. Back when I was in the service, we had to draft and like that, but now everyone that's serving is a volunteer. So we want to make sure we thank our veterans, and I thank all the veterans that are here today. for their service and their sacrifices, and also their families. The families also sacrifice when their family member, be it a son, daughter, father, or mother, is away, especially during the holiday season. So we want to honor and remember them. Please keep them close to your hearts. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to be here.
At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Hanson to come back up for the presentation of wreaths. And I'm going to ask the principals from our area schools, Mrs. San Pietro from Dayton Elementary, Mrs. Pitts from Biddeford Primary, Mrs. Kenny from Biddeford Intermediate, myself, and Mr. Alan Casavant. If you guys could all please come forward. At this time, we're going to do the ceremonial wreaths to each branch of the service. From the Army, Staff Sergeant Amanda Weber. From the Navy, First Class Petty Officer Tim Riegel. From the Marines, Vietnam veteran Corporal Dennis Warren. From the Coast Guard, Phil Thane, receiving as his daughters in the Coast Guard, he is President of the Patriot Riders. And from the Air Force, Master Sergeant Anita LaRose. At this time, could I have Pam Payeur from Wounded Heroes?
morning, everyone. Wow, that's awesome. Well, good morning to you. The first thing I'd like to say is I am the mother of 3 graduates of Biddeford High School, Mr. Casavant being teacher of at least 1, maybe 2, definitely not for all 3. And I would really like to, with all due respect, direct my comments directly to you young folks here. You're at a very important time in your life, and the choices you make are key. Make good ones. As a result of one of my sons graduating from Biddeford High School, we have a hero in our community, but he's not here today. He was with us at Cabela's last night, but due to his injuries and the cold, he seems to be suffering from a migraine today due to his brain injury. So for that, I'd like to thank Staff Sergeant Amanda Weber, my friend, for standing in on his behalf to accept the wreath for the Army. My son graduated from your school in 2004. We knew during his senior year he was headed to the Army, and we knew as of September 11th that he was going to be going directly into combat. One of the things I want you to remember very clearly is when you make the choice to serve your country, and I believe it's a calling for any of the Gold Star mothers here who have lost loved ones. Serving this country is a calling. Don't take it lightly. It's not a way out. It's not what you settle for because you don't think you can cut it in college. Make it an honorable and a noble and a proud choice if that is your choice, and it's not for everybody. That's very important. Because as your loved ones, we serve alongside with you. When you go overseas, we're at home worrying. You're busy doing stuff. But when you're in combat fighting for your life, we're home worrying ourselves sick that you won't make it back. The scariest 5 seconds of my life have been worrying the what if with my son. I actually allowed myself mentally and emotionally to go to what if he doesn't come home, and I've smelled him for the last time. I've hugged him for the last time. I've had him look at me for the last time. Scariest 10 seconds of my life. So don't take that lightly. My son, I feel in my eyes, and I'm his mother, is a hero. He was blown up 11 times in Iraq on his 2nd tour as a tanker. He survived. But he's come back to his community, and because of all the challenges he faced and we face as a family, the Wounded Heroes program at Maine was born. And now we take care of our returning wounded when they come back, because the systems have failed them. So what's going to happen? The community needs to come behind these young men and women coming home with nowhere to turn. And that's why we're here. So if you choose not to serve, if you choose to go on to college, whatever you decide to do with your futures, when you see a veteran at an event, all you have to do is say thank you for your service. Make a difference in your communities to make these veterans feel like valued members of society again. They're coming home broken. Oh, you see the prosthetics and the full bionic limbs and all this other stuff, but they're broken inside. There's no pamphlet for that. There's no pamphlet or booklet for fixing that. We as human beings who welcome them home need to be there for them and fix them. I'm a very lucky mom. My son will never be okay. But we have moms in this group who will never have the chance to kiss their sons and daughters goodnight again. And this group is going on a long trek down to Arlington to honor those who never came home and have families grieving and crying every day at that loss. But they're proud, and I know I have no regrets. I would never have regrets. What happened was supposed to happen the way it happened for a reason, and I'm okay with that. So as citizens of this community and of this school, of Biddeford High School, leave this school as seniors proud. But go about your life and always remember that there are those in your community who deserve a little bit more, who deserve a thank you, who deserve a hug. And be that person who gives them that hug that day when everyone else ignored them. And always honor and respect them. and teach others to do the same. So on behalf of Team Wounded Heroes, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Teach the young ones, teachers. They need to know the cost of freedom.
At this time, I'd like to invite Superintendent Jeremy Ray to the podium.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody coming out today. I think before I honor a couple of guests, a couple of things that I'd like to say to our high school and our younger students is we are very fortunate individuals. We are fortunate that we get to come together here in this wonderful facility for a program like this. So I'd like all of us to do just what we were told. I'd like all of our students to please rise. And let's say thank you to our veterans and our servicemen. Big round of applause. Thank you for what you've done for us. So I'd like to say thank you to a couple of folks, but I have to tell just a hair of a story on this one. So Morrill and Karen Wister are from Washington County, where I'm from. And when we got a chance to bring Wreaths Across America here and that opportunity, I jumped at it. And one of the reasons is I've known Morrill and Karen and the three kids since I was this high, and I know what they've done for the community. And so we were just honored to have them here. Also got to, John and Bunny spent a lot of time coordinating this event. And so we decided that we would get some Biddeford High School thank you sweatshirts. However, either I had just returned from Washington County and I had my down east accent on, because it changes when I'm away. The sweatshirts don't say Wreaths Across America. They say Race Across America. Now, we will replace those with the correct ones, but in some ways, in talking with Karen this morning, and she was telling a story about her sons, Race Across America might actually work in this, because they are racing to get to Arlington through the weather, through the cold, stops along the way. And if Morrill and Karen and John and Bunny can please come up, I just really want to say thank you from the Biddeford and Dayton communities. We really love to have you here. Big round of applause. And I just want to turn it over to Karen for a second for a thank you.
Thank you so much. You went to Wreaths High School, right? So that doesn't surprise me sometimes. Anyway, Wreaths Across America, what it made me think about, and I we're talking about acknowledging a lot of the veterans. Well, a lot of the people who are escorting us, and if you're there, I would like to show all of the my respect and your thank you to all of the first responders, all the uniformed men and women, police officers, and that are with us. Can you all just raise your hands so we can say thank you for getting us down the road safely? And also, we're on our way to Arlington with some of the Wreaths, and Jeremy's friends, my sons, and a lot of people are home still loading trucks. There are still over 100 trucks to be loaded, and it will be a race to get those to places like California and Sitka, Alaska, and everywhere else before Saturday. So, I'll give these shirts to the boys. They'll appreciate it. But also, all of the drivers that are with us, please raise your hands. These drivers are driving, all volunteer drivers. That deliver Wreaths, and all of our Wreaths are delivered by volunteer trucking companies. So just shout out to them.
Thank you. At this time, our final speaker, Mayor Casavant.
Thank you very much. I'm very humbled to be here, and I want to thank the Worcesters and all the participants and the drivers, because I think it means a lot for the people of Maine and the people of Bitterroot that you're here and doing what you do. Many of you know I taught here for 35 years, and I think this is an appropriate teaching moment. But I promise it won't be as long as my normal lectures. The other day I was talking to my mother, yesterday actually. She was talking about World War II, and she was talking about listening to the radio and finding out that we're at war with Japan. My mother's 89 years old. And she mentioned her brother, who was killed in the Philippines. He was 19 years old, which means not much older than you. And I juxtaposed that with an event that happened to me many, many years ago. I took some kids down to Arlington, to Washington, D.C. in Arlington. And I remember walking through the roadways and looking at the names on the tombstones, and I recognized many of those names because they were part of the history book, or books that I had taught. But there were so many other names of people I didn't know. And when I looked at that in the context of what we're doing today, with all those wreaths going down there, recognizing that each wreath is symbolic of someone who served in the military, actually many people who served in the military, and all of their families. That's a profound thought, it's a profound moment. So what we get out of all of that is this. It's important for all of you and all of you to remember those who served in this country, those who loved this country, those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country, their families and their friends, because all of it is so important for us being in this gym today, for all those different freedoms that we have that we always take for granted because it's out there. These wreaths, this event, the travel to Arlington, the placement of the wreaths is symbolic because it's asking all of us not only to not thank our veterans, but also to always, always, always remember. So thank you very much for your passion for America, for being here today on behalf of the people of Bitterroot. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to ask the Worcester family and Chairman Hanson to please come forward for a donation from the Bitterroot School Department. we would just like to once again thank Wreaths Across America for stopping in at Biddeford. A special thanks to Brady Screen Print for donating the gifts. And thank you to the Patriot Riders, Maine Chapter 1, and Wounded Heroes for their support in making this happen. If we could just have one more round of applause for everybody who made this happen. And I'd like to say thank you to all our students from Biddeford High School, Biddeford Primary, Biddeford Intermediate, and Dayton Consolidated for being such a wonderful audience.